There's a difference between being overtly racist and covertly racist. But being racist is being racist. That's the bottom line. Now, if you're unaware, CPAC, which is a conservative political action group, is having meetings today. I believe it's today and tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. It might be 3 days. Anyway, at this particular conservative, it's Republicans basically, they are having various people to speak. The president is going to speak, the vice president is going to speak, Steve Bannon is getting ready to speak right now, Steve Miller is going to speak, and it's ridiculous. But what is even more ridiculous, depending on which side of this particular story you believe, Richard Spencer, who is obviously an acknowledged white supremacist, either was given credentials to attend CPAC by the CPAC officials, okay, or he purchased a ticket to attend a CPAC, which is anybody's right. Now, they kicked him out, okay? Now, if they kicked him out, okay, because they gave him credentials and now don't want to give him a platform, and I'm not talking about a speaking platform because he didn't have a speaking role at CPAC, but just his appearance at CPAC basically shined a light on their positions as far as racism and white supremacy is concerned. That's one thing. If they kicked him out after he purchased the ticket, okay, then something's wrong with that one too, because anybody has a right to purchase a ticket. He wasn't speaking, so he should have had the right basically just to attend, and if nothing else, to sit down and listen to the various speakers. So either way, they're trying to camouflage Mr. Richard Spencer and basically overtly trying to walk away from his publicly stated opinions while they covertly absolutely support him. Why do I say that? Because two of the biggest racists in positions of power in America are being given speaking platforms. That's Stephen Bannon, okay, who is a quote unquote, my opinion, white supremacist, because he agrees with the platforms of the alternate right, which is just another way of saying white supremacist. And he's a fascist, and he basically subscribes to the viewpoint that Christians should wipe the people of the Islamic faith off the face of the earth, and that government, no matter how where it is too big and should be either severely, significantly reduced or flat out just destroyed. And Stephen Miller, his resume, if it's not well known, check out one of my videos. I did a specific video on this guy. He is the definition of a white supremacist. Anyway, here's the clip so that you can see what went down this morning at CPAC.
Back live on Andrew Mitchell Reports. I'm Peter Alexander. The most anticipated CPAC speaker, not named Donald Trump, will take the stage just a few minutes from now. NBC's Casey Hunt is in Maryland at the conference. And Casey, obviously there has been a lot of interest in the president's chief strategist, that's Steve Bannon. But I want to ask you quickly about a man that may be familiar to some of our viewers. That's Richard Spencer, a white nationalist. Here's what we heard earlier today in a speech that targeted Spencer's faction of the movement.
This hate-filled, left-wing fascist group hijacked the very term alt-right. They stole the term specifically to confuse us. We know who these people are. They met just a couple months ago in Washington, D.C. to spew their hatred and make their Heil Hitler salutes. They are anti-Semites, they are racists, they are sexists. They hate the Constitution, they hate free markets, They hate pluralism. They hate everything, and they despise everything we believe in.
Strong words there from one of the individuals who's behind the group sponsoring this conference. We know that Spencer showed up at CPAC, so what happened next?
Well, Peter, Spencer did show up at CPAC, and you may remember him also as the white nationalist who was punched in the face at Donald Trump's inauguration during the festivities. That video widely circulated on social media. But he came here to CPAC, and he was in the hallways with a name badge and a credential around his neck, saying initially that he felt welcome. But pretty quickly, he was thrown out by the organizers here. We followed him out to get his story about how exactly that happened. Take a look.
All right. He had a credential around his neck. The credential is issued by CPAC. Okay. Translation. They initially invited this guy, unless I am sorely mistaken. And I could be, because sometimes you can pay for a ticket and receive a credential.
What happened here? They stripped you of your credentials here at CPAC?
Yes, they did. That's their right to do that, I guess.
But they issued them to you in the first place.
Yes, they issued them to me in the first place.
So what was their rationale? Did they just discover who you were, or was it
I
because
guess
you're
they
talking
just
about...
discovered who I was, and the fact is people want to talk to me. They don't want to talk to these boring conservatives. I think everyone recognizes that there has to be identity politics in the world. That we white people define the United States, but we're now experiencing an increasing minority status.
Now, we should say that CPAC has said that he is not welcome here, that he bought a ticket, he was not invited, and that they have refunded the money. They have not taken his money for the ticket. And of course, this is somebody who has been widely repudiated by critics, by others in the Republican Party. As you noted, the organizers were on stage saying that they repudiate this kind of language and talk. But of course, this has bubbled up, and Richard Spencer did hold a gathering of white nationalists in Washington shortly after Trump's election, saying, "Hail Trump," and other things. So this is something that has been kind of fomenting back and forth between the conservatives in the establishment, who are wrestling with how to deal with it. And of course, that has come to the forefront a little bit here at CPAC. Peter.
All right, Casey, thank you very much for that. We're live at CPAC right now, and joining us again is Chris Taliza, our MSNBC contributor. He is the founder of the Washington Post's Fix blog. In effect, this is the pregame show to what a lot of people are going to be tuning in for just moments from now, Chris, which is Reince Priebus and Steve Bannon, two of those inner circle members, the closest advisors to the president, with competing perspectives within the conservative movement, as it were, within republicanism more broadly. I just want to get your sense of this as we anticipate hearing from Steve Bannon, a person that a lot of people have opinions on and very few have probably even heard speak.
All right, I'm not all that interested in Chris Taliza and his commentary, but I wanted to show you this particular clip and the people that are basically sitting on stage or coming on stage at this present time. I don't know who the three people on the left are, but I sure know who that person with the damn black cowboy hat is that is out of uniform for a change. That's Sheriff David Clark Jr. Okay, and the woman that is speaking right now, that's Justice Clarence Thomas's wife. Why these people are there is obvious. They subscribe to pretty much all of the philosophies of the conservative movement, and in particular, this is more I'll call it a Tea Party function than anything else. And Mrs. Thomas is a major proponent for the Tea Party. Sheriff Clark, you know, he's just another ball game altogether. And I've made enough videos about him that I'm not going to go into my displeasure with even seeing him, though I knew that he would be there. But bottom line, the Republican Party is trying to pull a sheet, literally pull a sheet back over their particular philosophies and agendas by publicly kicking Richard Spencer to the curb. But how they can justify that, and then have Steve Bannon and Steve Miller being two of the main speakers at this particular function when they are known racist is pretty much beyond me.